The True Stories channel brings you the best movies drawn from the drama of real life. Stay tuned for another engaging true story next. The following presentation is rated TV-14. The subject, real life. The characters, people you know. Coming up next on the True Stories channel. Because there's nothing more compelling than the truth. Their genius earned them money.
2 million in gold and jewels.
Their money bought them connections.
My name is Rothstein.
I don't care if your name is... Did you say Rothstein?
Their connections gave them power.
Either we will come into the bartenders union, or they will find you in an alley somewhere with a bullet in your head.
And their power made them superstars.
People are afraid of you. You can just do anything.
Their business was crime, and they did it better than anyone else.
You wanted the boss? I'm the boss!
The True Stories channel profiles the legends of the underworld. Frank the Enforcer Nitti, Arnold Mr. Big Rothstein, Ronald and Reggie Cray, Martin the General Cahill, and Al Scarface Capone. Gangsters so successful, they became famous figures. In June on the True Stories channel.
Curtis, we have the evidence. We have the weapons. We have the money. Armed robbery. You're looking at 12 years, Martin. 12 years.
Brendan Gleeson, John Voight, the General. Tonight at 11:35 on True Stories.
The Stars Super PAC. Up to 12 channels, providing more movies and more choices than anyone else. The Stars Super PAC. Call now to order. Here's what you can see tonight.
You're the head of the family now. We'll support you the way we supported Jack. But it's up to you now to lead us forward.
And when one man is enslaved, all are not free. Thanks to all of you. It is on this heart and let win there.
An epic look at a legendary family and the real man behind the mythic name. Robert Kennedy and His Times. Remembering Robert Kennedy on the True Stories channel. There are events in time that have made a mark on history. Events in time we mark on the True calendar in June.
It is on this heart and let win there.
An assassin's bullet kills presidential hopeful Robert Kennedy.
With courage and energy and purpose, we can build a better nation.
Witness the life of one of the greatest champions of freedom.
And when one man is enslaved, all are not free.
Robert Kennedy and His Times.
By defending Richard Nixon, are we in fact harming the presidency?
A botched burglary at Democratic Party headquarters.
It was a question of, you know, national security.
The circumstances are surrounding us, Mr. President.
triggers the scandal that led to the first resignation of the U.S. president. The final days. The birth of a girl whose words symbolized hope.
I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are really good at heart.
In the face of unspeakable tyranny, the diary of Anne Frank. Compelling lives from the pages of history portrayed in movies. In June on the True Stories channel. Coming up next, witness the power and drama of real life. Accounts of actual events that will shock and inspire you. Here on the True Stories channel.
Imagine your drinking water is contaminated. So contaminated it's caused several deaths. In Woburn, Massachusetts, this was a horrific reality, and the town believed two huge conglomerates were to blame. The film A Civil Action, starring John Travolta, chronicled the case.
Woburn increased its industry, and they did not have the water to, feed the industry and other people. They had looked at this one watershed to see if that would be good water to put wells in there, and it wasn't. It tasted swampy. It was highly contaminated with bacteria. He was born in March of 1972. Just seemed like everything that came around the corner, the earaches and the sore throats, skin rashes, he would catch it. Just seemed like they were never ending. And I had taken him to the doctor, and they said, well, we don't know what's causing it. It must be environmental. Did I think it could ever be the water? Yeah. When he was 4 is when he came down with the leukemia. And he was receiving treatments, well, up until he died. The common denominator was the water that made all these kids sick.
I loved the work that we did. We were personal injury lawyers and proud of it. We represented people who had no other place to turn, had no resources. We represented 8 families. 7 of the families had children with cancer. 1 of the families had an adult who had cancer. At that time, W.R. Grace and Beatrice Foods were 2 of the largest corporations in the world. They were household names. The fact that their properties were involved in the contamination of this water supply was something which, when we filed the lawsuit, was a major news event. The chemicals that were involved in the Woburn contamination case was trichloroethylene. I've come to appreciate the lethal effect that even small amounts of these solvents in a water supply can have on public health, how they can affect the body's ability to fight disease, how they can cause a break in the DNA as the body tries to get rid of them, which can be a place for a cancer to take root. Our firm brought all of these experts from all these different areas together, and no government institution, no corporation had ever brought all these experts together at one time to deal with this problem of contamination of a water supply and whether the chemical contamination could cause children to get sick, get leukemia. And it became a scientific and a medical journey, far more than a legal journey. Eventually this case took over the entire practice and took over our lives. I remember that we took 2 hours off for Christmas, 2 hours off for New Year's, and I took off 2 hours to bury my grandmother. The case cost tens of millions of dollars by the law firms and the companies and the families. At the height of our work on this case, we literally had a couple of hundred people working. Investigation started in 1981, and we went to trial in February of 1986. There could be as many as 16 or more depositions going on around the country. Nothing was as it appeared, just as you thought you understood or had something under control, something would happen that would totally throw that away, and you'd have to start fresh. Witnesses wouldn't become unavailable or refuse to talk. Documents that you needed would disappear. Scheduling of events, experiments that we were hoping would be done would be postponed. Results that would come in that you were depending upon would be different than you had expected. I mean, there was nothing that ever went as expected. The attorney for Beatrice Foods submitted an affidavit to the court saying that the amount of paper that had to be reviewed, stacked on top of each other, would extend over an 80-story building. During the trial, I was definitely losing sleep, losing weight, definitely at times as stressed out as a human being can be. I certainly learned that it's not enough to uncover the truth in a legal case. It's important that you get folks to act on the truth or that the courts allow people to act on the truth.
From director Steven Zalian, a moving look at how one man will stop at nothing to uncover the truth. John Travolta, Robert Duvall, William H. Macy, and Kathleen Quinlan star in the powerful courtroom drama, A Civil Action.
Who was this story about?
What other movies have I seen her in?
When was this movie made?
Who, what, when, and everything else you want to know about the True Stories channel. www.truestoriesmovies.com. Life's most fascinating tales ring true with the True Stories channel. From triumph to tragedy, it's the only channel that tells it like it is. Commercial free, all day, every day. The True Stories